Hey there, and welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here again to, cut through the clutter on some complex topics, giving you the core insights you really need. Today, we're tackling something truly fascinating and honestly a huge opportunity. Navigating the massive dynamic business world of Asia Pacific. It's a region just bursting with potential, but it's also full of unique communication challenges that can, well, really trip you up if you're not careful. So, our mission in this deep dive is to explore how strategic communications and PR can actually be your shortcut to success in this incredible market. We'll be focusing on one agency in particular known for its, well, deep expertise and decades of real on the ground experience, showing you how they can become such a vital partner.
Exactly. And to do that, we've really dug into some quite revealing sources. We've looked at a media coaching primer, detailed info from the agency's own website, McGallen Bolden, and even a YouTube transcript with a really well-regarded C-suite communication strategist. We're aiming to pull out the most critical nuggets for you so you come away genuinely informed and, better prepared to maybe think about APAC.
Okay, great. So, let's start with the basics, maybe the sheer scale of it all. Have you ever really stopped to think just how enormous and diverse the Asia Pacific region is for business? It's tempting to just lump it all together, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. But that's a huge mistake. The numbers are, frankly, staggering. Our sources point to roughly 4.8 billion people. Billion. That's more than half the world's population right there.
Yeah.
And it's not just one place. It covers 23 countries, at least 14 major languages officially. But get this, over 2,300 languages and dialects spoken across the region. Financially, it's a powerhouse. APAC makes up about 37% of the world's total GDP right now. And projections show that climbing to over 40% by 2040. Huge growth.
40%. Wow.
Yeah. But the crucial point here, the thing you absolutely have to grasp, is that the region is not monolithic. Not at all. Unlike, say, the Americas or even Europe, where there's maybe more shared cultural ground, APAC has vast differences. Language, culture, customs, faith, laws, they can change dramatically from one border to the next. And this complexity, it means PR and communication become, well, far more sophisticated, much more nuanced than elsewhere. It's really an art form out there.
That's such a key point. And adding another layer to this complexity is the media landscape itself, right? It's changing fast in APAC. We're seeing journalists, for example, shifting. They're not just reporting facts anymore. Many are becoming more like commentators. Their personal takes, their biases can really color how your message lands. Plus, you've got the rise of what they call gated lock-ins, more paywalls, basically, for mainstream news. And then there's this trend towards very specific trade and niche media, especially in places like Australia and New Zealand.
All creating different hurdles.
Exactly. So, okay, the big question then is, how does a business actually connect? How do you get your message across effectively in such a vast, complex, and constantly shifting environment? This is where, having the right strategic partner seems less like a nice to have and more like a necessity.
Mm,
Which brings us to the agency we mentioned.
right. McGallen and Bolden. They've been around for quite a while, founded back in 1991.
Wow, 91.
Yeah, that makes them one of the longest-running independent strategy and PR agencies in the entire Asia-Pacific region. Over 30 years of experience. Just think about that for a second. 3 decades. They've navigated massive economic shifts, tech revolutions, countless crises, all within APAC. That kind of longevity says a lot about their understanding and resilience.
It really does. And their core promise to businesses, their value proposition, it's very direct. They say they get people to know you, and maybe even more importantly, they get leads for you.
Mm,
They do this using their wide APAC network, and here's something that probably interests you, the listener. They aim for big agency results at boutique firm retainer fees. That's a pretty compelling mix.
it is. And what's also really important is their approach. It's holistic. It's not just, sending out press releases. They go way beyond traditional media relations. They integrate business strategy, crisis communication, internal comms, digital marketing, social media, events, community management, even media coaching.
So it's like a whole ecosystem.
Exactly.
Mm.
For you, that means they're not just fixing isolated communication issues. They're building a strong, integrated foundation for your brand,
Mm.
which is critical in a region as diverse as APAC.
Okay, now this part I found really interesting, their philosophy on PR. They draw a sharp line between PR and advertising. They say PR is about telling. It relies on earned media, getting others, credible third parties, to say good things about you. It's about unbiased content. Advertising, on the other hand, is selling. It's paid media, inherently biased because, well, you paid for it. You're essentially shouting about how great you are. But then they take it deeper. They link PR to truth, consistency, Einstein, and reputation brand retention, Nietzsche. What does that actually mean in practice for a business?
That's a great question. It sounds philosophical, but it's deeply practical. Let's break it down. Truth. Mencius. This means your communication, your PR, must always be based on facts, on integrity, especially when things go wrong during a crisis. You can't just spin your way out. The truth matters.
Okay, verifiable truth.
Consistency. Einstein. Think about universal laws, right? They don't change day to day. Similarly, your brand's message, its values, its actions, they need to be consistent over time. That's how you build a reputation people can rely on. It needs to be unwavering.
Right, so it's not just a one-off campaign.
Not at all. And reputation brand retention, Nietzsche. This connects to the long game. PR isn't just about getting quick headlines. It's about carefully building and protecting your brand's core identity and value over the long haul, making sure it lasts, that it means something. Ultimately, it's about becoming a trusted, authentic source, building that long-term trust. And crucially, they stress that you can't expect journalists just to repeat what you want them to say unless you pay for an ad. PR earns credibility.
That makes a lot of sense. Earn trust versus paid messaging.
Precisely. And they apply this philosophy across some really key, often technical sectors. Their expertise covers areas like cybersecurity, industrial automation and safety, anal-cease platforms, healthcare, pharma, AV tech, even fashion, footwear, and food and beverage.
So they have deep dives in specific industries, too.
Yes, which means they're not just generalists. They understand the nuances of those specific fields, which is vital when you're trying to explain complex products or services in a market like APAC.
Okay, let's shift focus slightly from the agency to the strategist behind much of this, Dr. Seamus Phan. He's described as a C-suite publicist and strategist, and his background is, well, it's incredibly diverse.
It really is quite remarkable. We're talking 38 years of hands-on experience, not just in marketing and strategy, but deep in technology, academia. He was a pioneer in early digital media, content management systems, even full-stack DevOps and cybersecurity. He actually co-developed an email security server appliance on UnionIX way back.
Wow, so he actually built the tech.
He understands it from the inside out. Invaluable for tech PR. But he's also a Big Four alum, PwC, and EY. He's been an experienced journalist and editor, co-hosted broadcast shows. He was even featured as a brainstormer in Seth Godin's Bull Market 2004.
That's quite a mix. So for you, the listener, how does this translate? You could think of him as your creative think tank on tap for your C-suite. Someone who brings field-proven business strategy, creative direction, and cutting-edge ideas. His background means he genuinely understands the different languages, tech speak, financial concerns, journalistic angles.
Exactly. Imagine a strategist who's been a sysadmin, a Big Four consultant, and a journalist. You can grasp the tech complexity, the C-suite pressures, and the reporter's needs. That's a unique advantage for translating your message effectively in APAC.
That multi-lens perspective must be incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. And he applies it directly. He mentors executives in crisis communication and media coaching, drawing on all that first-hand journalism experience. His consulting services reflect this breadth. Media coaching, crisis comms, deep digital marketing expertise. Remember, he was doing web dev, SEO, content amplification from the early days. Plus, leadership and business transformation, drawing on interesting sources like aviation principles and ancient Asian philosophies. And he's right on top of current trends like AI's impact on leadership and, of course, cybersecurity, given his background.
And he's written books, too, right? Tough Times, Great PR, the .zn series, distilling lessons from crises, offering insights on leadership. So the real takeaway for your business here seems to be that you're not just getting a standard PR expert. You're getting access to a true multidisciplinary strategist, someone who can see the APAC market and your place in it from angles that others might completely miss.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so let's move into the really practical stuff. How does McGallen Bolden actually deliver success for clients? How do they tackle those concrete challenges? Things like, navigating tariffs and trade hurdles, or maybe you need Asia-Pacific media coverage, but your brand is basically unknown there. Or perhaps you have technical products that are really hard to explain. They have specific approaches for these.
Right. And their methods seem pretty comprehensive. They offer strategic business counsel, sometimes using what they call a red team approach. Can you explain that?
Sure. A red team is basically like having an internal devil's advocate. They actively question assumptions, poke holes in strategies, try to find the flaws before you launch something. It's borrowed from military and cybersecurity, designed to make the final plan much stronger.
Interesting. Stress testing the strategy.
Exactly. They're also deep into digital PR and comms, and importantly, they're leveraging AI now, things like AI RAG chatbots. These are AI tools trained specifically on your company's data so they can generate really relevant, accurate marketing content or answer specific queries.
So AI that actually understands your business.
Precisely. Plus, they handle the expected stuff. Rapid response, media pitching, proactive outreach, detailed media coverage tracking. They organize press tours, events, and they even focus on employer branding and helping executives build their presence on platforms like LinkedIn.
Okay, and you mentioned media coaching and crisis communication earlier. That seems like a core pillar.
It absolutely is. Their media training is customizable for C-suite execs. It covers everything: print, online, broadcast, video interviews, the whole spectrum. They focus hard on the dynamics of an interview. How do you land your key business messages clearly? How do you use zero distraction tactics to stay on point? How do you maintain that executive presence, posture, gestures? And crucially, how do you handle tough questions? Or even hostile interviewers? They actually have names for difficult interviewer types, like the machine gunner who fires rapid questions, or the paraphraser who tries to twist your words. They teach techniques for managing these scenarios.
Preparation is key then.
Absolutely. They quote Benjamin Franklin: "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." It's all about building that control and confidence before you face the cameras or the recorder.
And the crisis side. We've all seen PR disasters unfold in real time, haven't we? It seems like navigating that is more critical than ever.
Oh, definitely. It's often the response to a crisis, not the crisis itself, that does the most damage. They point to examples like Boeing's handling of the Alaska Airlines incident initially, or CrowdStrike's software outage response cases where maybe the empathy felt lacking or the initial messages seemed a bit tone deaf.
So learning from those high-profile mistakes.
Yes, their own approach to crisis basics is very clear. Number one, a sincere apology. That has to come first. Then, crucially, don't rush to speak before you have the facts straight. Show genuine compassion. Their advice is don't play hardball, meaning focus on empathy and finding solutions, not just legal defensiveness.
That's counterintuitive sometimes, but makes sense.
It does. Consistency in messaging across the whole company is vital. Everyone needs to be on the same page, and leadership has to take personal responsibility. No hiding. They even bring in principles from aviation CRM, crew resource management. That's all about teamwork, communication, and decision-making under pressure, adapted from flight crews. It ensures their crisis readiness is systematic and well-rehearsed.
Wow, that is incredibly thorough. It really feels like they cover every possible communication angle a business might need, especially in a region as complex as APAC. It's about building trust, resilience, not just getting headlines.
That's the core of it. So just to summarize the key takeaways for you, the listener, McGallen Bolden brings this unique blend. You've got the decades of experience over 30 years navigating APAC specifically. You've got deep, localized expertise in a highly complex market, a truly holistic, integrated approach to comms, leadership in using digital and AI tools effectively, and crucially proven battle-hardened crisis management skills. They've literally seen it all since the 90s and helped clients through it.
And as we've explored in this deep dive, partnering with an agency like McGallen and Bolden isn't just helpful, it can genuinely be a shortcut, a way to effectively enter and succeed in Asia Pacific. They offer the strategic guidance, yes, but also the practical tools to help your brand really connect, to cut through that complexity and turn potential challenges into actual growth opportunities. So here's something to think about. In today's world, which is only getting more complex, with information flying everywhere, how could a strategic partner like McGallen and Bolden change things for your business? How might they not just simplify your communications, but fundamentally transform your ability to build real, lasting trust in a market as diverse and vital as Asia Pacific? Just consider the long-term value of getting that sincere, consistent communication right for your brand's future. It's a strategic advantage you probably can't afford to ignore.